Rolling.
Right. Hello, I'm Yu Fang from Information Kiosk for TB. My fellow members are Ian Perez, Florian, Justin Momka, and Dimitri Brown. The table of contents is followed: introduction, objectives, ideas or inspirations, purpose of Information Kiosk, client needs and programs, preferences, design, budget, item pricing, and conclusion.
Hello again. Yeah, we are Team B from WHSAD, and we're currently working on the information kiosk of Snug Harbor. Objective. So, for the information kiosk, our objective is that we want to provide a vibrant regional cultural destination for the youth and also people of different cultures, while also ensuring that we have a well-managed campus for all residents of Staten Island and also surrounding communities. Ideas and inspirations. So some ideas for our kiosk is that we want a truly great aesthetic for the kiosk. We want the kiosk to complement the environment. We also want a low maintenance design, and also a kiosk that is very easy to use in terms of with the purpose of the information kiosk.
Purpose of information kiosk. An information kiosk is a great way to communicate with visitors. People working inside the information kiosk can help you with your destination or where you need to go in certain places. Next slide, please. Needs of client. So the needs of client here are low maintenance, which is that it has to be like easy to clean, no, nothing hard for the people inside. Simple design, as in furniture and stools, easy to move around. Safety features like a fire extinguisher or like a first aid kit just in case of an emergency or whatever the client needs. Next slide. Also, the information kiosk itself needs to have energy to flow through the kiosk, and it also has to be fully weatherproof in order for the water not to soak inside the booth and cause damage to anything.
Some purposes we got are the on your eve for the information kiosk to provide shade, since in the area there's not really any much things to block the sun, like strong sunlight. We have A-frame storage, a mini fridge, and better interior lighting. And we found out like many manufacturing companies for prefabricated information kiosks such as FCP Corporation, Modular Engineering Company. And the most standard size are 10 by 10, but it can vary by how much you really need. And then we have a budget of $7,500. The material cost for lumber is 100 to 800, drywall 12 to 20, glass 25 to 100. In conclusion, once again, we are Team B from WHSAD, and we're currently working on information kiosk in Snug Harbor, here to provide vibrant regional cultural destination for Snug Harbor and the community.
Okay, if you can go back to the table of content.
Go back to the table of contents.
All right. So I think that you guys had a really strong presentation, all right, especially sort of really identifying the purpose of the information kiosk, right? The client's needs and the programs, right, and some of those preferences. One thing that I do want to highlight as you guys continue to move forward with this is to, for a lot of the items that they are identifying, especially when it comes to the needs and some of the preferences, just try to add images that accompany the terminologies that you guys are introducing. So if you go to the preferences slide, right, the next one, right? So for example, the awning or the eaves, right? So what is that visually, right? And what are different examples that you can provide there as well, right? So especially with the mini fridge, right? What different types of mini fridges are out there and whatnot, okay? So I think that would be a good next step for you guys as well. As as I'm sure other comments are going to come in as well. Good job, though. Very good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So can you go back to the opening slide?
The table of contents?
No, the first one. Very first slide with the names on it. So I heard there are 4 people in this team, right?
Yeah.
3 people spoke. Is Justin going to speak? Justin, are you here?
No, he's not here.
He's not here. Does he have a speaking role?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Very good. How did you guys feel in terms of speaking? Yufeng, Dimitri, Ian, do you guys feel comfortable with speaking, presenting this information, or do you think you need work?
I feel like I need work.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, presenting is not easy. Being casual and being engaging is not easy. Goodness knows that we deal with it on a daily basis as educators. We have the toughest crowd in the world, being teenagers. So when it comes to speaking to your audience, knowing your audience, the presentation needs work in terms of you communicating the information in a manner that doesn't feel like reading, doesn't feel like robotic and stilted. This is your first time through. I encourage you going forward, thinking about ways that you can make it a little bit more engaging. Can you go to the purpose of the kiosk slide? Ian read that slide, right? Is that Ian? Ian, you read this slide?
Yeah, I read that one.
All right, so just purpose of the kiosk, right? It's nice, an information kiosk, right? I would encourage you to kind of come up with some kind of anecdote, right? Have you ever statement? Like, have you ever been somewhere you've gotten lost or you don't know where your way around, right? We're dealing with that as well with the wayfinding project for Staten Island. So the purpose of the kiosk is to make sure that visitors to this location know where they're going, and you are pointing out interesting information for these visitors. Is the kiosk going to have like a place for brochures, for a map that people can take with them and find their way around? How is that going to be presented? Is it going to be on like a shelving unit, or are you going to hand those out for the people who are working there? Just details regarding the human experience when it comes to interacting with the kiosk, because an information kiosk is that. It's a human experience. People go there for information. So I would encourage you maybe to, with this slide, Ian, come up with like a have you ever statement. Have you ever been somewhere and you don't know your way around? Have you ever visited an amusement park and you don't know where the rides are, something like that? All right, just to kind of like pull the listeners in, the audience in a little bit more, instead of just kind of reading from the screen. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right, so work on that. Good work. Good work.
Hey, Frank. Once again, like they stated, pretty much everything they stated, did a great job at the beginning process. So one thing I'm going to share, I'm going to let you know, all of you have to become a salesman or salesperson when it comes to an idea, because you have to sell it to them in order for the design to go through. One of the major things is architects, designers, developers, contractors, doctors, lawyers, teachers, educators. We have to sell what we have in order to get an end result. For some people, it's cash. Other people is more revenue. Other people, for YouTubers, is more likes. So at the end of the day, one of the things about your presentation that I haven't seen yet, only saw one image of Snug Harbor. And go back to the beginning of the slides when you spoke about Snug Harbor, about how beautiful it was, how great it was. Okay.
Yeah, I think also a site plan is necessary, not for just this project, but for every project pretty much. It's somewhat of a site.
Yeah. Perfect. So right after the next slide, the needs of the clients. Go to the next slide now. Okay, easy to clean. Now go all the way back. Go all the way back to what the objective is. Okay, yeah. We want to provide a vibrant regional cultural destination that offers dynamic programming in arts, education, horticulture, agriculture, and recreation for diverse cultures. A lot of cultures, man. What's going on? And all ages, while ensuring a well-managed campus. So here, you didn't have to put the WHSAD logo because it's not needed. But you could have put the site plan of the Snug Harbor in this slide, as well as while Dimitri was talking about Snug Harbor, how beautiful it was, and certain areas like people needed to get the information how to go to the different centers, the Greek Revival buildings, is it the Chinese? What is it called? The Chinese. What's the name of that area that we went to, Rodriguez?
It's a Chinese Scholars Garden.
Okay, the Chinese Scholar Garden. And I'm going to show you some images.
Chinese Scholars Garden.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm going to present real quick what I just gathered in 2 seconds. So I'm just going to present my screen.
Codio, just to interject for a moment, when you're asking these questions, students who are designing the kiosk should be able to answer these questions in terms of what is at Snug Harbor. They are in charge of the design of the information kiosk. So it's more than just the design of the structure. You are designing a structure for the purpose of directing people to the various areas of Snug Harbor. So you guys need to be experts about Snug Harbor as well.
Yeah.
So as soon as I typed in Snug Harbor, I looked at events that happened in the Tuscan Garden, the Chinese Scholar Garden, the Music Hall, the Great Hall, the Secret Garden, the map, New York City. So pretty much as soon as I typed it in, all that information is right there at your fingertips. And all you have to do is type in 2 simple words, Snug Harbor, and all the information that you wanted to sell. So to start off talking about a design process, you want to talk about the beauty it has and why it's important for people to know how to get to these special areas, especially when I look at the Botanical Garden area, to just walk underneath that, near the Tuscan Garden, having events. And you want people, especially at a wedding, not to worry about how to get to a certain destination. And your job as a kiosk, the people that's going to be at the kiosk, is to guide them. So for you, you have to take them on a journey through this sensation. Like, this is important. This kiosk, even though how small, a 10 by 10, 10 by 12, how important it is. And you have to, like you say, you're building the way you articulate, build the way you sell the product. You have to imagine yourself and be more emotional, even though you don't have to be emotional, but you have to get yourself in that realm and say, yes, this kiosk is so important, because without it, people will not have the proper guidance, a proper way of going from destination to the second destination. Without the information, without the map, without someone guiding them, they will not be able to get the full experience of Snug Harbor. So that's how one way you could start off the presentation, because you're selling it. And that goes for everybody. You want to make sure that wherever you are presenting, whether it be the bushwick design, bushwick generator, why it's important, smallpox, why do we need these type of events in there for the community? You have to show the issues, and then you have to say how important it is, and show the bads and ends, just like the news. Like, for example, snowstorm is coming. It may be 1 inch, but as soon as the news broadcaster comes in, everyone, stay inside. There's a snowstorm coming. Close your windows. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. Watch out. But with that being said, Yufeng, Dimitri, I know I'm being a little exaggerated, but get some images, add it into your design concept. It goes for everybody. Especially, I see some beautiful. I love the Chinese. I just love it. I have fun that day. But add them into your presentation. And when it comes to the cost as well, we spoke about the cost, and you guys are researching it. Trying to write this down. Get what do you call it? A proper budget in terms of what will be the total cost based upon square footage. So if you're going to go with 10 by 10, you have the drywall. The drywall is coming 4 by 8s. So you have to calculate how much you will need for a total cost price. Flooring, paneling, roofing. You need to actually do research. I could do the research for you, but it's not my project. It's your project. These are some ways I want you to start off by understanding when it comes to budget. You have a general aspect of like how drywall costs one piece or roofing material, those little things, but you have to go in depth and find out, or have somebody find out how much does every little thing cost, even the cabinet, the hardware, the nails, the screws that's required. Go in depth in terms of what is the total pricing, because you are the individual that is going to actually budget the whole thing, and you give it to these people to just take care of everything else. They just want to just purchase, have somebody come and put it together, and not worrying about the cost of it. But we'll talk about that more as we go along. But great job.
Definitely, I wanted to add on to that, to Mr. Cody, is that definitely the budget is going to be a big thing for this project, especially because the client has specified a set budget, right? So we will work under that. One thing that part of your next steps is to, as continue to find understand more about Snug Harbor, we need to then in order. I'm not sure which one of you are going to be working in order with this project, to start developing a 10 by 10 sort of site plan, not a site plan, but also like this, to start beginning a little bit of space planning and understand then how the material going to come together, and then we can start figuring out the budget. Another thing for the team is that we need to find more examples of information kiosks around. There's a lot of examples, especially in Europe. We can look into information kiosks in Canada or in South America, right? But we want to see how these are working around the world as well, all right? So we get a better understanding of how, best practices for information kiosks. And as well, think about technology integration, right? We're in 2020, so we have to start, thinking about how advanced technology going to be integrated into some of these projects as well.
It's good. Ms. Butts, anything to add? Okay. So I'm going to stop the video.